Brother Sterling, I'm the only player of 267 men that's walked through this building to my left that can honestly say this. I'm the only pro football player that's in the Hall of Fame, and I'm the second best player in my own family.
Family. 4 players were announced to the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2025. Rounding out that class is Sterling Sharpe, who will join his brother, our very own Shannon Sharpe, in Canton. This is the first time ever in NFL history that 2 brothers will be in the Hall of Fame.
That's hard.
Shannon, I had the pleasure of meeting and working with your brother at NFL Network before I worked with you, and he's first class, an even better human being than he is a player. I know you idolized him, and I understand why. You were able to deliver this news to him. Shannon, what was this moment? Like, think of when you guys were little kids.
It's surreal. That's the first and only time I've ever seen my brother cry, is when I said what I said on that stage. There were people praying that I didn't even know was praying, and God heard prayers I didn't even know he was listening to. It means the world to me, because that's the only man that I've ever wanted to be like. I didn't have to look outside my own home for a role model because he sat across from me. Everything that he did that I saw, he had the toughest job, Molly, because he didn't have a navigational system. He didn't have MapQuest. He didn't have Google. He had to navigate that road by himself. I got to follow a path that was already laid out for me because I saw everything that he did, and I said, if I do that, I can be that. It's an unbelievable moment. I know my grandmother, my grandfather looking down, and they're so proud of what we've been able to become. I'm so proud of my brother. Unfortunately, his career got cut short. But at the end of the day, thanks to God and a lot of prayer, we're the first brothers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and they can't take that away.
That's amazing, man.
Shannon, honestly, I couldn't be happier for you both. I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
That is awesome. That's like, hold on. Like, we trying to keep it composed and keep it cute.
I was getting a little teary.
But this right here is a flex, bro. Like, they know who to do this for and to, because if I have my brother, first off, if I ever make it, whatever it is, let alone me, you can't tell me nothing already. But you get me and my brother get in, boy, let me tell y'all something, boy. Well, I'm going to bring Atlanta for real, just whatever. But just to be able to know you and to know your brother, not a lot of people can say that they even got it in, let alone a household got in.
Yeah, that's really
so for what you represent to us, thank you, bro.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And I love what you said, your humility about how Sterling didn't have the blueprint, right? And he was your blueprint.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of brothers in the Hall of Fame, guys, obviously Peyton Manning's a Hall of Famer, and we heard the news about Eli Manning. He was not obviously on that list. Cam, should Eli have been a first ballot Hall of Famer? I mean, that's resounding no's in Louisiana.
They threw me out there. Yes.
Okay, tell me why.
And I'm going to tell you, the reason is, if we're going off this narrative of it's about championships, it's about championships. He got the same amount of championships or Super Bowls that his brother has. He beat the GOAT, Tom Brady. So if we're going off that merit alone, yes.
Okay, hold that thought. Stephen A.?
Let's be respectful, because it is a Manning and their class personified, and we get all of that. But we just have to tell the truth. The answer is no. The answer is no. And I say that respectfully as a person that has a lot of respect and appreciation for the man that Eli Manning is. And he's a 2-time Super Bowl champion, beat Tom Brady twice, Super Bowl MVP. We get all of that. But I'm just going to go the numbers route and then leave it to the football experts to break this down. I'm going to break this down. I'm going to let them break this down, Ken. Eli Manning was 500 as a starter, 117 and 117. He was selected to 4 Pro Bowls in 16 seasons. That's a 25% ratio. That's not great. and he was never named All-Pro, first team. He reached the postseason 6 times, missed it 10 times. The 2 years that he won the Super Bowl, that's 8 playoff victories. The other 4 years, he didn't win a game. He's never led the NFL in completion percentage, passing yards, touchdown passes, or passer rating, but led the NFL in interceptions, not 1, not 2, but 3 times. And last but not least, Kurt Warner is a guy that is considered a better quarterback. 3 Super Bowl appearances, 2 league MVPs, a Super Bowl championship. And he didn't get inducted until his 3rd year of eligibility. So the issue is not about Eli Manning as a Hall of Famer. The issue is him being a first ballot Hall of Famer. No, he doesn't deserve that. He'll get in one day in all likelihood. But when you talk about first ballot, there can be no question marks. It has to be a sure thing. And Eli Manning is a lot of good things, a lot of great things as a person. But he is not a guarantee. And because he's not a guarantee, he's not a first ballot.
But just to be clear, before everyone jumps in, you do believe he's a Hall of Famer, just
eventually,
not a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Okay. Well, not before the 3rd, because he shouldn't go in before Kurt Warner. Not before the 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that obviously they clearly had people in that room with common sense. And it's no disrespect to Eli Manning. I'm not going to be in a Hall of Fame conversation, but I do love the game of football. And I feel like if you're a first ballot Hall of Famer, that a person should be able to walk up right here and say their name, and we can all go. That's a first ballot Hall of Famer. If somebody walks up right here and they say Lawrence Taylor, we all know what that is. Somebody walks up right now and you say Barry Sanders, we know what that is. Jerry Rice, we know what that is. If there has to be some deliberation on whether or not this person is worthy of being a first ballot Hall of Famer, I don't believe that they can be. There has to be something prestigious. There has to be something mythical about being a Hall of Famer. And even more so, first ballot. Shannon Sharpe is crying because his brother, who's a bona fide Hall of Famer, who has the gold jacket on, is saying, I'm not even the best player in my house. And it's not just about that statement. It's about what the statement means, that my brother should be up here too, because they understand what it means to be considered, even considered to be one of the greatest to ever do what we did. When I think about Eli Manning, and you talk about the quarterbacks of our era, I think Peyton Manning, I think Tom Brady, I think Drew Brees, I think Ben Roethlisberger. When you walked into the stadium with those dudes, Cam Newton, you had to be locked in. They were a top priority on the list of people you had to stop. When we talked about Eli Manning, they said he's going to throw you a couple, make sure you catch him. I do believe the playoff runs, the way that he carried himself, the way that he led, makes him a Hall of Famer. But he is not a first ballot guy, and that's okay.
Yeah, this is kind of like hard for me because all you guys made compelling points, but I'm going to only one what I say is going to be because Pro Football Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe says Eli Manning shouldn't be a first ballot. But I agree with what all you guys said. Not you, Cam. I do not believe it because I don't think at any point in time in Eli's career we thought of him as a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
Yep.
At any point in time, nobody said, you know what, Eli's top 5. I'm not so sure. He barely maybe got a year or two in the top 10. And when you look at what Stephen A. said, never led the league in passing yards, never led the league in passing touchdown, quarterback rating, passer rating, completion percentage, it's 2 years. It's 2 years. Jim Plunkett has 2 Super Bowls. He's not in.
Okay.
But does it do anything for you, to Cam's point, that they were both against the dynasty that is Tom Brady and the Patriots, also that he's a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, which is rare class?
But here's the thing, what Cam and I talked about is the ring culture now. Now it supersedes everything. Mm-hmm. We know there are guys that don't have. So are we saying that Eli Manning is a better quarterback than Danny? Come on now.
Let me throw this at you, too. In the 2 Super Bowls combined that he beat Brady and he was MVP, the total score combined of the 2 games was like 38-31. So it was dominated by the defense. Tom Brady was sacked 7 times. They were harassing him all game long. Mm-hmm. It was a defensive matchup in those Super Bowls as well. All of those things don't negate him being a Hall of Famer.
Just
first ballot is special. It's different.
That's a different. Look, we're all in the same house, but that's a different room.
Yeah.
When you walk into that first ballot room and you see Rice and you see LT and the Reggie Whites and the Peyton Mannings and the Tom Brady that's eventually going to be there.
I bring it home for this, and y'all tell me what you agree. When T.O. was salty about not being a first ballot Hall of Famer, I was going like this. Wait a minute now, he kind of justified because we know he should have been the first ballot.
Absolutely.
Without question. That's highway robbery. So, like, yeah, you ultimately go in, but it's very, very difficult when you're bypassing that first ballot when you clearly deserve it. If there's a question mark, that's different. But when you clearly deserve it, that first ballot means something.
But I think that's the thing, though, right, Shannon, that somebody in that room had to say, no, we believe that he should get in, but we also hold first ballot Hall of Famers to a different level of excellence than everyone else.
By any estimation, T.O. is the third best receiver. No matter where you got him, second, but Jerry's the GOAT. So whether you got Randy second, T.O. third, or T.O. second and Moss third, by everybody's estimation, he's the third best receiver ever
I think
played.
where you guys swayed me, even as a Giants fan and a huge Eli Manning fan, is if there's confusion, it's a no. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no.
Exactly.
And that's what it means specifically with the first ballot.
Hall of Famers, first ballot Hall of Famers are introduced differently than Hall of Famers. When somebody's a first ballot Hall of Famer, you always say first ballot.
Yes.
They're not, you say, okay.
All right.
It's true.
All right, we're out of here.